Hey everybody, it's Chelsey. Welcome back to another Creative Design Team video. This month we are talking all about starting with a sketch and how you can use sketches to jumpstart your creative process. There have been some awesome projects created by the team this month, and I hope you will check out the links in my description box below and watch all of those videos. There are several ways that you can start the scrapbooking process. You could start with a sketch. You could start with your photos or a story you want to tell. You could even start from a certain paper pack or collection that you want to use. I personally find these Make It From Your Heart books super helpful when it comes to getting started. They not only include photos of the layouts for different color combinations and ideas, but also on the gray side there, they have all the measurements for each piece of paper. And they are also listed by how many photos they are designed to showcase, which is a great way to find a sketch that's going to work for your photos. I promise I do have a project to show you today, but first I want to share a little story with you of how useful I have found these books. In spring of 2020, I was very pregnant and I had some unfinished projects that I really wanted to get completed before the baby came because I knew if they didn't, they'd probably never get done. My biggest unfinished project was a Disney album that I had started from a trip in 2013. So I decided to sit down with my stacks of already printed photos and this Make It From Your Heart Volume 3 book, and I just looked for layouts that had the amount of pictures that I wanted to use for each page. Since they were already printed, I knew how many photos I had to use, and I had paper already set aside. I had this project sitting around since probably 2014 with the paper and the photos sitting in a bin. So I just got to work and I just put these layouts together, altered them as needed, but I was able to knock out a whole album before my baby came, thanks to the Make It From Your Heart books. For my project today, I'm going to be going back to the Make It From Your Heart Volume 5, the newest book. This one has double page layouts, single page layouts, and cards. So it's quite a mix. There's something for everyone. And I just kind of flipped through to see what layouts grabbed my attention. And I'm going to actually be going for pattern number 13. I loved that element of the circles going across the bottom. That's something that I don't think I have really done before. So I thought that'd be a great place to start. I have all these cute little photos of my daughter, and they're all quite similar, but I thought they would look nice in that single column going across the page. For my background, I'm going to use this beautiful Woodgrain pattern paper. I love Woodgrain. It's so versatile. And then I'm just using some French vanilla cardstock to put my photos on. I also decided to cut my photos a little bit thinner. So instead of the full 3 inches, I went down to 2 3/4 inches so that I could have a little space of the white between each photo. I thought that broke up the busyness of the photos a little bit better. So far, I have stuck pretty much to the dimensions and placement of the sketch, but here is where I'm going to kind of go my own way for a little bit. I have these gorgeous floral borders that I cut using the Everyday Moments Cricut collection from Close to My Heart. And I cut those both out of French vanilla, and I cut them at 12 inches. So I just had to rotate them on my mat a little bit to get it to cut the full 12 inches. And then I just glued them into place with a little bit of glue, little dots of glue all over so that they would lay nice and flat. Except for the Woodgrain paper, all the other pattern paper is from the Perfect Match collection, which was launched earlier this year, and as of filming, is still available on my website. It was designed as a Valentine's or love theme collection, and I thought the colors and the love theme really fit with my photos. I'm adding a zip strip here from the collection just to add a little bit of this blue color. I'm going to have some small pops of the blue amongst all the pink. I decided that I wanted to skip all the little strips of pattern paper that were supposed to go above where the photos are. And instead, I'm going to add a couple clusters of stickers and embellishments and paper just so that the top isn't too empty, but I didn't want to have another linear element going along above where my photos are. So I'm starting off my cluster with that larger ticket sticker, and then a thin strip of the pink pattern paper from the collection. And then the banner that says Time Together, that one is pop dotted. All the other elements are flat, but I wanted the sentiment to pop a little bit. And then of course my little cute heart stickers there as well. To cut the circle elements that are going to go across the bottom of both of these pages, I use these stitched circle thin cuts. These are actually retired, but I do use them a lot, so I couldn't resist pulling them out here. I'm just putting all my circles across. I use several of the patterns that come in this collection, and then I'm going to be embellishing with some stickers from the sticker sheet as well. I find it really useful with these stickers to cut them out while they're still on the sheet, and that way I can place them wherever I want, see if they're going to work for what I have in mind before I commit and actually peel them off the backer and stick them to the page. For this pink You're Cute sticker, that one is actually pop dotted, and then this black and white striped heart is also pop dotted. And the little white heart, the tiny little white heart that's going beside it, is just flat on the page. I like to vary my embellishments, so have some things popped up and have other things flat on the page. I just think it adds a little bit of interest. So same thing here, this little red Loving You strip is popped up, and then the little XOXOXO strip below it is flat. Now this last heart here, I love this one. It says, "You have my heart." And I did pop it up, as well as the blue one that I'm putting on the journaling card that is also popped up. The sketch for this page shows a title on the left-hand side, and I wanted to do a title, but I didn't want it to be really bold or have lots of contrast because these pages are already quite busy. So I decided to go for kind of a tone on tone, and I made a title using the Chloe font in Design Space. I cut it on Ballerina Cardstock, and then you can see here I'm using a clear shimmer brush to just cover the whole thing in a fine silver glitter. And once I attach it to my page, I'm actually going to add a layer of liquid glass over top. So once it's done, it will have a nice subtle shimmer and a shiny kind of bubbled up top coating on it. This is one of my favorite ways to give titles and embellishments just that little something extra to make them pop, but it's not too bold or overwhelming. Now you can see I'm going to add the liquid glass. You want to be really careful with this because it is runny and it is shiny, so you don't want it to kind of get carried away on you. I skipped over the whole application because it did take some time, but once it dries, it is going to be dimensional and shiny and really beautiful. So I'm going to do my journaling here. I'm using the 0.3 journaling pen, which is my absolute favorite from Close to My Heart. And I'm just filling in the little story of what happened this day. My journaling says, "Your giggles and smiles absolutely melt my heart. Today we were in the kitchen making supper and I started spinning around and dipping you down. The pure joy and trust you express brought me so much joy. I love watching you experience life." This might seem like a pretty small, everyday kind of story, but I like recording these things as well as the big events and the trips and all those kinds of things. I think it'll be fun to look back on in the future. I decided that my page definitely needed a little bit more sparkle and bling, so I have my favorite silver glitter gems here. And I'm just going around the page and adding little clusters to my embellishments. They're in little groups of 2s and 3s. I just kind of played around and moved them around to see what I thought looked good. My trick with these gems and any kind of sticky embellishment like this is to lay them very gently on the page so that I can slide them around if I don't like where they are. And then once I'm sure of the position, I just go back and press everything down very firmly to make sure it's attached to the page and it's not going to pop off. Now, as I was reviewing my pages, I thought the left-hand side above my photos was looking a little too empty, so I decided to go back to the sticker sheet, see what I had and what I could do to add just another little embellishment cluster. I used a small strip of Carolina cardstock and then I put that heart sticker on top of it, and the My Person word strip is popped up, and then of course just a few glitter gems to go beside it. And that is everything. I hope you guys enjoyed my take on this sketch. You can see the sketches are very flexible. You can do them exactly as shown, or you can really spice it up, add Cricut cuts, add stamping, add whatever you want to make it your own. Make sure you come back tomorrow for Katie's video. She's the last one in the series. And if you've missed any of the other videos, I will have them linked down in the description box. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.